Want to invest in S&P 500 in just few clicks, even if you're brand new to investing? Stick around while I put 1,000 euros of my own money in S&P 500. Whether you're opening your first brokerage account or you have traded for years, this walkthrough blends hand-on steps with just enough theory so every click makes sense. Give me about 10-15 minutes and you'll leave knowing exactly how and why to invest in S&P 500. All right, let's kick off with some practical steps. Open a brokerage account, enter SPYL, click this. Now we know the price is about 13 euros. Now if I want 80 units, it's around 1,000 euros. Okay, place buy, confirm purchase. We just bought 80 units of SPYL, which is just a bit over 1,000 euros invested. That's it. It's that simple. Now let's go back to the start to see how we got here. Let's start with the basics. The S&P 500 tracks roughly the 500 largest US companies. And despite crashes in 2000, .com crash, 2008, all the property market crash, and even 2020 pandemic, it delivered about 10% average annual returns over the past century, so over 100 years. If you believe that America's top businesses will keep innovating and continue to make money, more and more money, this index is a time-tested core holding. Now, a bit of a technical knowledge, you can't buy an index itself. It's just a rule-based benchmark. Instead, we can buy ETFs that mirrors it. For Europeans, the simplest route is a low-cost, passive UCITS ETFs like SPYL. Now, let me give you an example how you can find them. Now we go on this website, completely free website, justetf.com. Now I'm not logged in or anything. I simply go S&P 500. Click search and we now have 107 ETFs. Now you can go from the biggest ones to smaller ones from different companies and so on and so on. But I already done my research. I know that I want the ETF, which is SPYL, and you can see that it's SPDR S&P 500. Fund size is just over 7,000 millions. So it's quite big on its own, and it's accumulating in a full replication. This is like the important pieces. 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐽 is always important when you initially want to compare them. You can see that 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐽 is exactly the same and you're investing actually in the same asset. Now, if I want to open it, I can search for more details. As example, fact sheet, kit documents, what is it investing in and what's the strategy. Now, there's a lot more information. You can review them, what's the top positions, what's the countries, sectors, so on and so on and so on. But from my side, the next piece you want to identify is the brokerage account. Now, feel free to use the one available to you, but I'll use Freedom24. Now, at the same time, I have a portfolio of more than 100K in Freedom24, so you can see that I trust them quite well. Now, if you got an account, skip to this timeline. If you haven't, this is what you should expect. First of all, you go down in the description and you press the link in the description. Few things you're gonna get. First of all, it will ask for your email, password, telephone number, some personal information. Next thing, you're gonna need a photo of your ID, so passport or identification card. Next piece is taking a picture of a document and straight away, most likely taking a picture of yourself. So it's initially identification confirmation. Final piece of the documentation is most of the times address confirmation. So it asks to provide either a bill or a bank statement where you can see that you have an address and you live in an address which you actually submitted previously as your personal details. Next piece is, as you open an account, you most of the times will get a test. So once you open an account, straight away it will ask you to fill in appropriateness test and suitability test, just to identify a bit of more information about you, how much you're looking to invest, what's your knowledge, which sort of items potentially are better for you, or which ones you shouldn't even have access to because you could lose a lot of money, because investing does have its risks. Now, once you already filled the details, next thing you will need is top up your account. Now, add money allows you to do it by bank card, allows you to do it with digital assets, but I would suggest that SEPA transfers are one of the easiest ones. These two documents is something you can download and send it to your bank in case they request it. But overall, you should just simply say, okay, if I'm earning in euros or I'm earning in dollars or in pounds, British pounds, I simply open this and this is the information I'm gonna fill in. Now, this information is personal to me. As you can see, payment details have my own account, and it doesn't matter which bank I choose. It's simply international transfer most of the times from my bank to this bank, making sure that the payment details have my account number in it. Now, if you go through exact same steps, just copy it not from the screen, but copy it from your own brokerage account, you won't be able to top up my account because it has to match. Now, the bank transfer from where money is coming from to where the money is going to, the person in charge of that account and that account has to match for you to actually be able to top up the account. Otherwise, that will be simply rejected. Now, once you topped up your account, next thing you do, you go and trade. Now, SPYL, as example, is an ETF and it's traded in euros. If you have enough euros, so let's go for one of the examples. For example, now I've just spent 1,000 euros and majority of my money is in dollars. So I can still buy something for 155 euros because I have that money. But if I wouldn't have, I need to exchange it. Now, for dollars, I can either buy dollars and have more dollars just exchanging that 155 euros, or I can actually sell the dollars. So if I sell the dollars, I'm going to end up with euros in my account. And that means I can transfer those 5,000 into the euro sum. Now, overall, once you already found an account and you have the money you wanted, you simply choose the volume. So how many units? 1 unit, 2 units, 5 units, 10 units. You see the rough price, 12.94. So if I, for example, would like to buy 5, it will be around 65 euros. Now, market price, it simply says, buy me the first possible option at the current price. Usually you'll get that immediately. You've seen it in the beginning of the video where immediately I became a shareholder of the ETF. Now, you can always choose the limit price, which means I can type in saying, I'm not going to pay more than 12.90. And simply now I know exactly how much I'm going to spend, but then it will wait for the sort of offers from the market to reach the price of 12.90. And if that doesn't happen, I'm not going to have an order altogether. Now, I had this experience in one of my practical experiments where I invest 100 euros each week. And you can see that this was a bit of a mistake. I set it at 100 and the price never reached the 100 and it continued to climb. And this has been active since last month. So it's a bit of a sort of risk if you type the number specifically under and the price never reaches that. But if you want to make this as fast as possible, you simply leave a market order and you'll buy it straight away as long as the stock market hours are open. At the same time, be mindful of cost. You can always go to members area and scroll down a little bit and change service plan. This has all the details of sort of what tariffs are you using, how much are you paying. My actual spend for that 1,000 invested was about 4 euros. It's almost nothing when you compare to those sums. But if I would invest, let's say 13 euros or 12 euros, so like 1 unit, I would initially spend around 2 euros just to buy it. So I would suggest to still stick to the situation where you invest at least 100 euros per time, so the cost don't eat all your money. Now, if you enjoyed this little practice, you know what to do. Press like, press subscribe, leave your questions below. I'll definitely gonna answer those, and I'll see you in the next video.